the sound that changed everything. Who let him cry like that? Preston Vale's voice roared through the marble hallways, sharp enough to freeze time itself. The child's wail had broken the mansion's silence, and now his fury did the same. Maya Williams stopped mid-motion while wiping a second-floor window, her damp microfiber cloth still clutched in her hand. She'd only been employed at the Vale estate for 5 days, assigned to standard cleaning duties in the East Wing. Nobody had ever discussed the 5th floor. Most of the staff actively avoided it, as if it were cursed. But that sound, the piercing, repetitive sobbing rising again, was impossible to ignore. It wasn't hunger, it wasn't exhaustion or irritation. It was sheer panic, the kind that tears through someone from within. "Miss," the butler called from below. "Keep away from the upper wing." He gave no reply. Maya ascended the remaining stairs, heart pounding. At the corridor's end, beyond a partially open door, flickering light from a sensory projector pulsed. A boy, roughly 7 years old, sat hunched on the carpeted floor, rocking violently, rhythmically striking his forehead against a bookshelf. No supervision, no comfort, only pain and repetition. She hesitated at the entrance. Every instinct urged her to retreat, yet something deeper, something ancient and buried, rooted her in place. Her brother Jermaine used to do exactly the same thing. Identical rocking, identical sounds. She recalled it vividly. Beneath the dinner table, arms locked across his chest, face wet with tears nobody could comprehend. Maya entered the room softly and crouched several feet away. "Hey, sweetheart," she murmured, voice barely cutting through his cries. The boy offered no response, though his movements decelerated slightly. She kept her hands visible, palms upward. Then gradually, she raised one hand and drew a simple sign across her chest. Safe. A gesture she hadn't employed in years, one her grandmother had taught her to soothe Jermaine when language proved inadequate. The boy glanced at her, merely a flicker, then resumed rocking. A sharp voice sliced through the atmosphere behind her. "What the hell are you doing?" Maya pivoted quickly. Preston Vale occupied the doorway, a commanding presence of tailored refinement and scarcely restrained rage. In one hand, he gripped his phone. The other hand clenched the doorknob as though it might shatter beneath his fingers. "I apologize, sir," Maya said, rising instinctively. "I heard him crying. And who authorized you to enter this room?" "Nobody. I believed he might be in danger. Step away from my son." Her muscles tensed, but she complied. Cautiously, she moved aside as Preston advanced toward the boy. The instant he attempted to lift his son, the child exploded, screaming more intensely, kicking, scratching, his limbs thrashing in complete panic. Preston wrestled to hold him, shocked by the ferocity. "What's happening to him?" he muttered. "Why is he... May I?" Maya offered gently, stepping forward once more. Preston didn't prevent her. She knelt, extended her hands, and the moment the child sensed her presence, his screaming diminished. He turned toward her and folded into her arms as though he'd been anticipating her arrival. His small hands grasped her sleeve. He pressed his face into her shoulder. The silence that ensued was total. Preston stared, astonished. So what did you do?" "I did nothing, sir," Maya responded softly. "I simply listened and signed." "You understand sign language?" "A little. My brother, he's nonverbal, autistic. This approach used to help calm him." Koing or eos. Preston's demeanor shifted almost imperceptibly. His suit appeared suddenly restrictive. His presence, so dominant moments earlier, now seemed suspended, as if he didn't know how to respond. "What's your name?" he inquired. Maya Williams. "I clean the East Wing." "You're not a therapist?" "No, sir, just a cleaner." He observed her holding his son as though it were the most natural action in the world. "Can you remain a bit longer today?" Maya nodded, still swaying gently with the boy in her embrace. "Yes, sir," she whispered. Preston turned, walking slowly from the room. For the first time in months, the house fell still. No echoes of anguish, no tense footfalls, no door slamming. Just a boy and a stranger, now not so unfamiliar, enveloped in quiet comprehension. And though Preston didn't articulate it, the expression on his face conveyed everything. Something had transformed. Something was commencing. The sun had descended lower by the time Maya came downstairs again, her back aching slightly from holding the boy for so long. Elijah, she'd heard Preston call him that once, had finally drifted to sleep in her arms, his face nestled into the curve of her shoulder as if he belonged there. She had placed him gently on a beanbag in his nursery's corner, covering him with a weighted blanket she'd discovered folded in the closet. He hadn't stirred. Now, the grand mansion felt heavier than when she'd first entered. Each chandelier glittered but seemed frigid. Each marble tile beneath her feet clicked like a reminder that she didn't belong. She was a cleaner, a temporary one at that, and she had just violated a significant boundary. She turned toward the service corridor, anticipating dismissal, perhaps even immediate termination. "Miss Williams." The voice emerged from behind her, clipped and distinct. She turned and found Preston Vale standing at the corridor's end, arms crossed, his expression inscrutable. He no longer held his phone. Instead, he carried a small notepad, a legal pad, the type that typically appeared when something official was imminent. Maya straightened automatically. "Yes, sir?" "In my office, please." Her heart sank somewhat. She nodded and followed him down the lengthy hallway, through double doors into an office she had only dusted from outside. It was pristine, contemporary, and minimally decorated. Dark wood shelves displayed books with uncreased spines. A wall of windows overlooked the private garden. At the far end sat a massive polished oak desk. He indicated the chair before the desk. "Sit." Maya obeyed, folding her hands in her lap. Preston sat across from her and remained silent for several seconds. He tapped a pen against the notepad's edge. She could hear a grandfather clock ticking somewhere distant. It felt like a courtroom, and she didn't know whether she was witness or accused. "You handled him like someone who's done it countless times," he said finally. "I haven't, not with him. Just with someone similar." "Your brother?" "Yes, sir. Germain. He died 4 years ago." "He was 10. Preston's eyes lifted, and momentarily, something human crossed his face. "I'm sorry." "Thank you." He fell silent again. Then he reclined in his chair. No therapist, no specialist, no trained professional has managed to calm Eli like that. Not in 2 years. They all failed. And you simply walked in there with a cleaning cloth and fixed him. Maya's throat constricted. I didn't fix him, sir. I just saw him." That halted him. The pen he'd been tapping grew still. "You saw him? Children like Eli. They don't require fixing. They need to be heard. You can't hurry their silence. You must be willing to inhabit it with them." Preston blinked slowly. "You sound like someone who should be doing far more than mopping floors." "I'm simply someone who needed employment, sir. My grandmother has medical expenses, and this pays better than the diner." He glanced down at his notes, then closed the notepad entirely. "I want to propose something." Maya blinked. "Sir, I need someone who can connect with Eli, someone who can provide consistency, not another overqualified stranger with a clipboard and a brief contract. Someone he already trusts. I'm not a nanny. I don't require a nanny. I need you." She shook her head gently. "Sir, with all respect, I'll double your compensation," he said, not allowing her to finish. "You'll stay in the staff wing. Private quarters, all expenses covered. Weekends free. Health insurance if you lack any, and you'll never lift a mop again." Maya felt her heart racing. The figures danced in her mind. That kind of money could mean genuine treatment for Grandma Loretta. No more missed medications. No more stretching food assistance. But she also recognized the risk. This wasn't merely employment. This was a boy woven with delicate patterns and even more delicate trust. If she accepted and disappointed him, it wouldn't be just another nanny departing. It would constitute betrayal. I don't know if I'm capable. Preston leaned forward, elbows on his desk. Listen, I have employed behaviorists with Stanford degrees, nannies from elite agencies, even a family counselor who charged $2,000 hourly. None lasted beyond a week. You entered, said nothing, and my son rested his head on your shoulder. I don't understand what that is, but I know it's rare. Maya swallowed. It's not magic, sir. It's simply care. That's even rarer. She gazed down at her hands, chipped nail polish and all. She thought of Loretta, of the quiet way she'd say, "Baby, if God opens a door, don't stand there arguing about the knob." When would I begin? Tomorrow morning. I'll have the room prepared tonight. Maya nodded. Okay, I'll try. Preston stood and extended his hand. She shook it, small and firm. As she departed the office, her mind raced. She hadn't packed for live-in employment. She hadn't even informed her landlord she was leaving. But beneath all that noise existed something quieter, something she hadn't experienced in a long time: purpose. The story continues with Maya's developing bond with Eli, her deepening connection with Preston, the challenges from corporate adversaries who weaponize child welfare services against them, the courtroom confrontation, and ultimately Maya's emergence as an advocate for children with disabilities, all while preserving the emotional essence of healing, trust, and unexpected family formation.